Welcome to Calcutta Races Christmas meeting, second day, Thursday, 12 December 2019 race preview. First race will be the Cruise Handicap to be run over a distance of 2,000 meters. We're looking at number 1, ARAKAWAH. ARAKAWAH's last outing was this season in race number 35 over 1,200 meters, where ARAKAWAH travelled right at the tail end of the field till it turned for home and then gradually gained a couple of places after much efforts and finished on 11th out of 13 runners, and the winner of that race was Requare. Number 2 will be Apnatai Maiga. Apnatai Maiga's last outing was this season in race number 26 over a mile, where Apnatai Maiga was travelling 6th till it turned for home, gradually gained a couple of places towards the rail side and managed to cling on board to finish on 3rd. Also in the same race we had number 6, Eastern Crown, who finished on 2nd, just 2 1/4 lengths behind the winner. That was Arrowfield. Number 3 will be Kaiden. Kaiden's last outing was this season in race number 13, which is its only start this season, over a mile. And what a start that was. Made it a pillar-to-post victory and won that by 3/4 of a length by beating Rosina. Number 4 will be MONTECASINO. MONTECASINO's had 2 starts this season, won its first outing in race number 14, and in its next start, which is its last start in race number 37 over a mile, travelled very wide of the track in the final stages of the race and managed to finish on 3rd, and the winner of that race is Dancing Lord, who won it by 3 1/4 lengths. Number 5, we're looking at AVELLINO, top class out of Riverdown. Impressed 2 starts to the season and finished 2nd in both its outings. Have been quite unlucky as AVELLINO. Last outing in race number 33 was over 2,000 meters, where AVELLINO travelled 7th till it turned for home, gradually gained places and finished on 2 3/4 lengths behind the winner. That was Beatrix. Number 7 will be Communique. Air support out of Cocktail Circuit. 1 start this season in race number 21 over 1,400 meters, and what a start that was by Communique. Travelled 2nd till it turned for home and gradually improved towards the rail side and took over the running and went on to win that race by 2 lengths by beating Modification. We move on to the second race, which is the Angelus Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1,100 meters for horses in Class 5. We're looking at number 1, Gimme Credit. Gimme Credit's had 2 starts this season, finished off the board in both its outings. Last one being over 1,100 meters in race number 32, where Gimme Credit finished on 13th out of 13 runners. And the winner of that race is Tia Queen. Number 2, we are looking at Hurricane Storm. Hurricane Storm's last outing was this season over 1,200 meters in race number 23, where Hurricane Storm led till the distance post and gradually faded away and finished on 7th out of 7 runners, and the winner of that race was Shivai. Number 3, we're looking at Artiste Royale. 3 starts to the season, finished on 4th in its first start, then came out and won its second start over 1,200 meters quite impressively in race number 8, and last start over 1,400 meters. Went over the trip and in race number 29 finished on 4th, and the winner of that race was Simply Soaring, who was too good that day. Number 4, we're looking at Botswana Star. 1 start this season in race number 17 over 1,200 meters, where Botswana Star travelled right at the back end till it turned for home, gradually gained a few places and managed to finish on 7th, and the winner of that race was Speed Force. Number 5, we're looking at Davina Donatella. Davina Donatella's had 1 start this season in race number 7 over 1,200 meters, where Davina Donatella travelled 14th out of 14 runners till it turned for home, gradually gained a few places and finished on 11th out of 14, and the winner of that race is Via Raggio. Number 6 will be Sorbonne, Green Coast out of Destiny. A last outing being over 1100 meters in race number 19, the Calcutta monsoon meeting, where Sorbonne almost finished detached of the field and finished on 7th out of 7 runners. Winner of that race is Tia Queen. Number 7, we're looking at Poker Prince. Poker Prince's last outing was in the Calcutta cold weather season 2018 and 19 in race number 149 over 1100 meters, where Poker Prince, after much efforts, finished on 9th after, and the winner of that race is Ruby Cube. Now running after a long layoff is Poker Prince. Number 8, we're looking at Dakshesh. 2 starts to the season, last outing being over 1100 meters in race number 22, where Dakshesh finished on 7th out of 12 runners. Also in the same race, we had number 12, Shania Spet, who finished 1 behind to finish on 8th, and number 13, the 6th Seal, who finished 10th, and the winner of that race was SWANLITE, who came up with a rattle on the stand side and went on to win that race by a whisker, an absolute nose. Number 9, we're looking at Happy Returns. Happy Returns' last outing was over a mile in race number 115, which was in the Calcutta monsoon meeting, where Happy Returns travelled 7 till it turned firm, gradually gained a few places, travelled very wide of the track in the final stages, and managed to finish on 4th. Winner was Shivai. Number 10, we are looking at Knight's Gambit. Knight's Gambit's had 3 starts this season, finished on 2nd in its first start, finished on 3rd in its next start, and last start being over 1200 meters in race number 36. Did run amongst the front runners in the final stages and then eventually faded away and finished on 7th, and the winner of that race was Midnight Magic, who won that race by a short head. Number 11, we're looking at Ayana, West Virginia out of Canton Caper. It's at 2 starts, which is in the monsoon meeting. Last outing being in race number 118 over 1100 meters, where Ayana finished on 10th, and the winner of that race was Uncrowned King, who won that by 2.5 lengths. We move on to the 4th race of the afternoon, which will be the SHAKTIROOP handicap to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. We're looking at number 1, Tough Enough. Tough Enough's had 1 start this season in race number 1, which is the opener in over 1100 meters, where Tough Enough travelled 5th till it turned for home, and then caught onto the rail side, and after much efforts managed to finish on 4th, and the winner of that race was Gorish. Also in the same race, we had number 8, Roxa, who finished on 5th. Number 2, we're looking at Gorish. Gorish's last outing was in race number 16 this season over 1100 meters, where Gorish was leading all the way till it was overtaken by Ruby Cube, who's also running in the same race. And Ruby Cube went on to win that race very impressively by beating Gorish by a length and a 3/4. Also in the same race, we had number 5, Cup in Octem, who finished on 3rd. But Ruby Cube is the one that you need to watch out for again. Number 3, we're looking at Sereno. Sereno's last outing was this season in race number 11 over 1100 meters, where Sereno travelled 4th till it turned for home, and after much efforts managed to finish on 6th, and the winner of that race was Oracle. Number 6, we're looking at Mr. Fogs. Phoenix Star, a Soul Sister, 1 start this season in race number 24 over 1200 meters, where Mr. Fogs led all the way till the distance post, and then eventually was caught up on the outside by Novikov, who came and took over the running and went on to win it by 2 3/4 lengths, and Mr. Fogs settled for second spot. Number 7, we're looking at Summerhill. 2 starts the season, last one being over a mile in race number 26, where Summerhill led till the distance post and then eventually was overtaken on the outside by a few runners, and Summerhill faded away and finished on 7th out of 9 runners. Winner of that race was Arrowfield. Number 9 will be Iconia. Excellent art out of Gold Murray. Been in form this season. Has had 2 starts and finished on 3rd in both its outings. First one being over 1100 meters in race number 10, where Iconia finished on 3rd. Last one being over the same distance in race number 32. Finished on 3rd again. Winner was Tia Queen. We move on to the 5th race, which will be the feature of the day, which is the Maharaja Daraja Uday Chand Mehtab Bardwan Memorial Cup, to be run over a distance of 2,000 meters. Number 1 will be Hartnell. Hartnell's last outing was this season in race number 34 over a mile, where Hartnell travelled 7 till it turned for home, gradually gained 1 place and finished on 6th. Also in the same race, we had number 2 Cadman, who finished on 8th. Number 3 Revolting, who finished 1 ahead to finish on 7th. Number 4 Multi Glory, who finished on right at the back end to finish on 11th out of 11 runners. And number 5 Cold Frontier, who finished on 9th. But the eventual winner of that race was Shivalik Shahs. Number 6, we're looking at Pothas Midnight Interlude out of Lazaire. 1 start the season over 1400 meters in race number 12, where Pothas travelled 9th till it turned for home, gradually gained a few places and quite rapidly in fact, and managed to cling on and get on board to finish on 3rd. Winner of that race was Brainstorm, now up the distance, going over 2000 meters. We move on to the 6th race, which is the Mr. Twister Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1100 meters, this race being a no-whip race. We're looking at number 1 Marigold. Marigold's had 1 start the season in race number 17 over 1200 meters, where Marigold travelled 2nd till it turned for home and gradually took over the running towards the distance post, but then eventually got beat by Speed Force, who came up with a rattle down on the centre and went on to win that race by 2 3/4 lengths, and Marigold settled for 2nd spot. Number 2 will be Stelvio Pass. 1 start this season in race number 7 over 1200 meters, where Stelvio Pass travelled 3rd till it turned for home and then rapidly fell back and finished right at the tail end of the field to finish on 14th out of 14 runners. Winner of that race was Vierratio. Number 3 will be Moskova. Multi-dimensional at a brush aside. Has had 2 starts this season. Been surely knocking on the door. Finished on 3rd in its first start over 1200 meters. Then last start being over 1100 meters in race number 32, where Moskova travelled 3rd till it turned for home. Gained 1 place and managed to get on to the 2nd spot. And also in the same race we had number 4 Panchovilla, who finished right at the back end to finish on 10th. Number 5 Uncrowned King, who finished 1 behind to finish on 11th. And number 11, that is Knights of Thunder, who finished on right at the tail end to finish on 12th, but the winner was Tia Queen. Number 6 will be Bacardi. Bacardi's last outing was over 1200 meters in race number 39 this season, where Bacardi travelled very wide of the track and finished on 4th. Winner of that race was Beat the Bank, who really sprung a surprise that afternoon. Number 7, we're looking at Harry Angel. 2 starts to the season. First outing finished on 5th. Quite an eye-catcher that was in race number 7 over 1200 meters. Last outing being over 1400 meters in race number 21. Travelled 5th till it turned for home. Gained 1 place and finished on 4th. Winner of that race was Communique. Now running over 1100 meters. A short of the distance. You need to watch out for Harry Angel. Number 8, we're looking at Guitar Girl, strong suit out of Conqueror. one start that was in the Calcutta cold weather season 2018-19 in race number 35 over 1100 meters. Guitar Girl led all the way, tried to make that pillar to post victory, but Aqua Racer came up at like a rocket on the outside, just about 20 meters away from home, and went on to win that race, beating Guitar Girl. Number 9 will be Princess Rumela. Princess Rumela has had one start this season in race number 14 over the metric mile, where Princess Rumela travelled 8 till it turned for home, gradually gained a couple of places, travelled very wide of the track and finished on 5th. And the winner of that race was Montecasino, now under the new ownership of Princess Rumela. Number 10 will be Scorpion Queen. Scorpion Queen's last outing was this season in race number 22 over 1100 meters, where Scorpion Queen tried to make it a pillar to post victory, but eventually shifted out from the straight course and travelled quite wide of the track, and eventually was overtaken on the outside by a few runners. Winner was SWANLITE, and Scorpion Queen finished on 4th. We move on to the 7th and last race of the day, which is the ZEGNA Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. Number 1 will be Rather Tippy. Verinar out of Havava. That's one start this season and debut run here in Calcutta, and race number 28 over a mile, and what a debut that was for Rather Tippy, who travelled 5th till it turned for home and gradually gained places, was ridden on hands and heels to the distance post, and a couple of reminders, just took over the running and went on to win that race by a length and a quarter. You need to watch out for Rather Tippy, can just make it a double here. Also in the same race we had number 3 Bang Bang, who finished on 3rd, and number 11, that is Caledonia, who finished on 7th. Number 2 will be Stormfront. Stormfront's had one start this season over 1400 meters in race number 21, where Stormfront travelled 8th till it turned for home and dropped back 2 places and finished on 10th after much efforts. Also in the same race we had number 7 Fabiola, what's the script out of Understood, who finished on 5th, and the winner of that race was Communique. Number 4 will be Aggression. 2 starts in the monsoon season, finished 2nd in both its outings. Last one being in race number 60 over 1400 meters, where Aggression travelled 4th till it turned firm, and then gained a couple of places and finished on 2nd, 4 1/4 lengths behind the winner. That is Shivalik Sight, who was too good that day. Number 5, we're looking at Gramercy Park. One start this season in race number 4 over 1400 meters, where Gramercy Park travelled 3rd till it turned for home and eventually faded away and finished very wide of the track and finished on 10th out of 10 runners. Winner of that race was Alpharats, who went on to win that race by a head. Number 6, we're looking at Sharavati. New famous out of Chitralekha, 2 starts this season, won its first outing in race number 2 over 1100 meters, up the distance by 100 meters in the next start in race number 23, where Sharavati fell short by a length and a half and settled for 2nd spot. Winner of that race is Shivai. Number 9 will be Modification. Modification's had 3 starts in the Calcutta cold weather season this season. Won its first start over 1400 meters in race number 3. Finished on 2nd in its next start. Last outing up the distance. Went on to finish on 4th over 2000 meters in race number 33, where the winner was Beatrix. Number 10 will be Windchaser. Windchaser's had one start this season in race number 29 over 1400 meters. Windchaser travelled 10th till it turned for home, gradually gained places. Did meet a little bit of an interference in the straight, but managed to finish on 3rd, and the winner of that race was Simply Soaring. Number 12 will be SWANLITE, Declaration of War of Lumiere Blanc. one start this season in race number 22 over 1100 meters. SWANLITE travelled third till it turned firm and then gradually was taken towards the outer rail and came up with a late run and went on to win that race by a nose by beating Roly Poly. Number 13, we're looking at FIREBURG. 3 starts this season, last outing being in race number 32 over 1100 meters, where FIREBURG had practically no show and finished on 9th out of 13 runners. Winner of that race is Tia Queen, came up with a real strong run and went on to win that race by 2.5 lengths. Number 14 will be Invincible Army. Invincible Army's had one start this season in race number 17 over 1200 meters. Invincible Army having run after a long layoff. Did try to make it a pillar to post victory till about the distance post, but then eventually was overtaken on the outside by a few runners. And Invincible Army managed to finish on 6th out of 13. And the winner of that race was Speed Force. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time and hope to see you tomorrow afternoon at the races at the Royal Calcutta Turf Club.